This is the hard truth. For almost 50 years now, the human race has been subjugated. In a very clever way, we've been educated into things that ultimately aren't good for us. We've been, for example, Tupperware. For 50 years, they've pushed plastic on us. Now they tell us it's not good for the environment. They've pushed a lot of things on us, which they've certainly never thought of when they were making money, of the implications, if any, to the environment. But they don't care, because they educate us into using it, and then ultimately they tax us for using it. So we can't win. We can't win. Now I go back to when I was a young lad, 50 plus years ago. Milk came in bottles. The bottles, you put your empties out. The milkman picked them up. The bottles were taken back, washed out, cleaned out and reused. No landfill issues. No recycling situations. Not necessary. That's what happened. We used glass. The same with pots. And getting back to the good old plastic dishes in microwaves, cremated, heated up fast, radio waves. Microwaves, electronic waves. EMF affects us. The EMF from routers affects us. From phones. They don't care. They don't care. We are a commodity. We have always been a slave race, whereby the majority of people work for the profits of the very few. There is no earthly reason you should have a starving child. There is no earthly reason you should have a village in Africa without water, when people are earning millions a day. Millions. There is no need whatsoever for poverty. The reason it exists is because the normal person, the working class people, have always been squeezed, absolutely squeezed, and the profit skimmed off the top and put in the pockets of the rich, the super rich, the very elite few that run this world. Yes, they'll let us have our football. Yes, they'll let us have our newspapers and our magazines. It's keep the masses quiet. Keep them subjugated. Let them have their cigarettes. Let them have their alcohol. We'll sell them cigarettes. We'll tax them for buying cigarettes. Then we'll put on the side of the cigarettes, it's dangerous for you. And you really have to question if that's true. Because they don't care if it's dangerous for us. They've never cared before. All the E numbers and preservatives and genetically modified food, and you know, if they had their way, we'd be eating bugs. We would be eating bugs. And all the nice food would be kept for them. It would go back to the days where the big estates hunted their own boar and deer, and it was their own little food supply. And of course, anybody else that was starving, that tried to go and hunt a boar or a deer, was imprisoned or killed. So these things are the preserve of the rich, and the rich only. So we have been a slave race. We have been used purely and simply to create and generate profits, more profits, for the very elitist few that run this world, who are known by various names: the Illuminati, the Deep State, This goes back to thousands and thousands of years ago, even to the time of the pharaohs, where the people were expected to build the temples and funerary temples for the wealthy. It's all expected. And they were given beer. Thousands of years ago, nothing's changed. Beer and bread. Now, this is the very first in a series of hard truth diatribes that I will be recording. And the aim is for people to wake up. It's for people to say no, not having it anymore. Enough. This is one of the few times in history where I believe there are forces for good behind the scenes, trying to help and trying to stop this evil that's permeated through humanity, through society for thousands of years, where we have just been viewed as cattle. That's all we are, cattle. Let's have some wars. Let's cull the herd. We can't have a war? Let's release a deadly virus. Deadly virus hasn't killed enough of them? Let's buy up all the land. Stop the food supply. Put the prices up ridiculously so the poor people can't cope. They can't afford to buy food. They are hitting us every way they can because they just want a few of us. They just want enough of us to work the machine. And it doesn't need so many of us to work the machine now. And this is what you've got to remember. In 1941, with the death camps, wholesale murder, this is a Holocaust we're in. But it's a more cleverly orchestrated Holocaust. No poison gas, but viruses. We're in the midst of a World War III. It's a different type of war, but it's killing us all the same. And like I say, this is the first of a set of hard truth diatribes designed to wake folks up. Designed to turn around and say, no, I'm not paying 4 times the amount for butter. I'm not going to pay that anymore. I won't buy it. No, I'm not paying that price for diesel or petrol. I won't buy it. Vote with your pocket. And they can't play their games. They can only play their games if you accept. So, our aim is to get out from under the jackboot, to wake up, to realise they don't care about us. They've never cared about us. They've lied through their teeth to us for as long as I can remember. There is no independent news. There is no truth. There is just the party line, the propaganda. British Broadcasting Corporation says it all. Says it all. Do not believe what you see on the news. Reverse everything and anything they tell you, because it will be a lie. And it is not to the betterment of humanity. So let's wake up. Let's start to wake up. Let's be prepared. We have the weight of numbers. They can only subjugate us if we agree. If we are too stupid to understand what they're doing. And they're laughing at us. They're sitting there in their rich, opulent studies, glass of brandy in hand, laughing What should we do now? We'll release something. We'll call it monkeypox. This is all one big joke to them because we're worthless. We are worthless. And now it's time for the tide to turn.